Sit back and enjoy an hour of fascinating facts you didn't know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started.
This is the Lego structure with the most pieces ever sold commercially. The Lego Coliseum Edition is one of the most impressive sets ever released to the public, and this model broke a Guinness World Record with its more than 9,000 pieces. When fully assembled, it measures approximately 10.6 inches high and 20.5 inches wide, making it one of the largest Lego sets ever made. The nose and ears never stop growing. While the rest of the human body stops growing once we reach maturity, the ears and nose continue to increase in size throughout life. This is because they are made of cartilage, which keeps growing and is also affected by gravity as we age. Have you ever heard the expression, "you're crying crocodile tears"? It is used to describe fake crying and comes from the fact that crocodiles shed tears when they eat. But they are not emotional tears. It is a purely biological reaction. These reptiles do not chew their prey, they swallow it whole. Since their salivary glands are very close to their tear glands, when they move their jaws, they begin to cry. A rainbow can occur at night, although it is rare. Lunar rainbows can form when moonlight reflects off water droplets in the same way daytime rainbows form from sunlight. These nighttime rainbows are usually paler than daytime ones because of the lower intensity of moonlight. The ostrich's eye is larger than its brain. These animals have large eyes that allow them to spot potential predators and prey from a distance. You should not rinse your mouth immediately after brushing your teeth, as this dilutes the fluoride in the toothpaste that is meant to protect your teeth. This is illegal to cut down a cactus in the Sonoran Desert, and you could face a prison sentence of up to 25 years if you do. Although it may seem absurd, this law was created to protect the region's cacti, which are considered an icon of the state of Arizona. In Japan, there are restaurants that heat soup with stones. This technique is called yaki-ishi. It is very efficient and heats the broth almost instantly. This is the leaf frog, a species that is practically undetectable on the forest floor unless it moves, since it uses its leaf-like appearance to camouflage itself in the forest. It can be found on the forest floors of Southeast Asia. The ostrich mating dance is a courtship ritual performed by males to attract females and reproduce. This McDonald's sign is missing something, the other arch. The company allows some franchises to use this older version of the logo. It is common to see it in cities where the brand originated as a form of tribute. This is Psyche 16, a massive asteroid with a diameter of more than 140 miles. It is composed entirely of iron, nickel, and gold. Due to its size and metallic composition, its estimated monetary value exceeds $700 quintillion. To put this in perspective, if this amount were divided among all the people on Earth, each person would receive $93 billion. Meet Sure, the world's most wrinkled cat. This feline has managed to captivate an entire online community with its distinctive and eerie appearance. It currently has nearly 35,000 followers, among whom it causes quite a sensation. Sure belongs to the Sphinx breed, whose most striking feature is its apparent lack of hair and its thin, elegant body. This is the smallest park in the world. It is called Mill Ends Park and is located in Portland. The park is a circle 24 inches in diameter and covers an area of about 3.15 square feet. It was created as a leprechaun colony and a place for snail races. It is officially considered a park because the city council declared it so, although it is really just a flower pot. The tongue mesh is a painful and absurd technique that involves attaching a mesh to the tongue, causing pain when eating solid food, forcing the person to consume only liquids or purees. The patch is usually worn for between 30 and 60 days. During this time, patients aim to lose between 26 and 44 pounds, which is very dangerous. However, they can achieve it because, unable to eat solid food, their daily intake rarely exceeds 1,000 kilocalories. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Temple of Artemis, was deliberately burned by an arsonist named Herostratus. After the Greeks captured and executed him, they passed the law declaring that anyone who mentioned his name would be punished with death. Meet the Australian green tree frog. Many people consider it the most beautiful frog in the entire world. It is currently a protected species because many of its natural habitats have been destroyed, and it can now be found in only a few places around the world. He is Braden Malik, 20 years old, and he has claimed the world record for the largest tongue circumference at 6.3 inches, breaking the previous record of 5.5 inches. There is a Japanese belief that ordinary objects can come to life and gain a spirit over time. This belief is called Tsukumogami, and it is said that the Pokemon Voltorb is based on it, as they appear to be Pokeballs that have come to life. There is a fish called the blue lingcod that has blue-colored flesh. Native to the west coast of North America, it usually has brownish or grayish skin and white meat. However, about 1 in 5 specimens have neon blue flesh, and no one really knows why. This is one of the best preserved swords ever found. It was discovered off the northern coast of Israel by a diver. What the man did not expect was that it was a nearly 900-year-old sword in perfect condition. It is believed to have belonged to a knight from the Crusades era, who must have been quite frustrated after losing it. She is Mary Ann Bevan, a British woman born in 1874 and who died in 1933. Throughout her life, she suffered from acromegaly, a disease that causes excessive growth of bones and soft tissues, giving her unusual facial features and an unconventional appearance. After her husband's death, with no financial support and 4 children to care for, she entered a humiliating contest in 1907 and was declared the ugliest woman in the world. Later, she was hired by a circus and toured several cities, where people came to laugh and mock her. She endured ridicule to raise her children and provide them with a better life. In the United States, a man was sentenced to jail for collecting rainwater. It happened in the year 2002 because Oregon law states that water is public property. The only legal way to collect it is with authorization from the state. However, Gary Harrington had 3 containers at his home that filled up during rainfall, and he never requested a permit. For this illegal act, he was sentenced to 30 days in jail and fined $1,500. This is what it looks like to walk inside an ice cave in Iceland. The caves are formed by water that flows through or beneath glaciers. This water, often coming from surface melt, enters the glacier through a moulin and exits through the glacier's mouth further downstream. Strawberries have more vitamin C than oranges. A 100-gram serving of fresh strawberries provides about 58 milligrams of vitamin C, while an equivalent portion of fresh oranges provides around 53 milligrams. Bees and wasps are capable of recognizing faces. This is an unexpected ability in these insects since their small brains do not seem designed for it. However, that is not true. Bees and wasps can distinguish human faces, at least to a limited extent. They perform a visual process similar to ours, although the images they see are in black and white. Even so, they can recognize specific facial features and tell one face from another. Human hair is almost indestructible, except by fire. It is extremely durable and does not decompose easily in water or with most chemicals. It can even last for hundreds of years in ancient tombs, which is why archaeologists often find it in mummies. This is Benjamin, the last Tasmanian tiger ever recorded. At first glance, it might look like a mix between a hyena and a tiger, with stripes on the back half of its body. The species was driven to extinction due to poaching and the expansion of urban areas into its natural habitat. After years of exploitation, the population steadily declined. The last known specimen, named Benjamin, lived in captivity until his final breath in Australia. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is not the only leaning tower in the world. There are others, and one of them is the Church Tower of Surhausen in Germany, which has an inclination of 5 degrees and is the most tilted tower in the world, since the Tower of Pisa leans about 4 degrees. This is a self-repairing ice robot. Its name is Icebot, and it was designed with this material to take advantage of conditions on other planets during space exploration missions. Repairing a robot on another planet is nearly impossible due to the lack of materials. However, this one can repair and rebuild itself since ice is abundant throughout the universe. Although this is only a prototype and still needs many improvements to be viable, it could be sent to explore other planets. This is the Megatherium, the largest sloth ever known. It had an impressive height of over 19 feet and behaved exactly like the sloths we know today. It lived in South America, but sadly, human hunting led to the extinction of this strange animal. An adult crow can lift up to 2.2 pounds with its beak. This equals about 1.5 times its body weight. Crows also use different techniques, such as using their feet, flapping their wings, and leveraging objects to move heavy weights. They are among the most intelligent creatures in the animal kingdom, capable of making rule-based decisions and creating and using tools. Hawaii is considered by many to be the best place in the world to see rainbows. The combination of frequent rain, long hours of daily sunshine, and mountains that help lift air currents makes Hawaii ideal for rainbow formation. It is even possible to see double, triple, or even quadruple rainbows across the islands. Although extremely rare, green roses do exist. If you search for them on Google, you will find results, but that is a lie. The roses you are seeing have been dyed with artificial coloring. This is what real green roses look like. Unlike other varieties, they have no petals, only green-colored sepals. A man named Victor Lustig carried out a scam in 1925 in which he convinced steel merchants that the French government was going to dismantle the Eiffel Tower and sell it as scrap metal. He managed to persuade them that he was in charge of choosing the buyer and escaped with around 70,000 francs. Eventually, years later, he was captured. If you are a fan of television series, you should know that the laughter you hear was actually recorded in the 1950s. Known as canned laughter, the first show to use it was The Hank McCoon Show, thanks to technician Charles Douglas, who built a machine that stored multiple recordings of laughter tracks activated by buttons as needed. So basically, we are listening to people who have already passed away. This is what a fire whirl looks like. It is a rare phenomenon that usually occurs during wildfires when the wind and its direction form a column of air just above the flames. This creates a kind of fiery, devastating tornado that can reach up to 164 feet high and move at over 62 miles per hour, burning everything in its path. Humans lose about 40 pounds of skin throughout their lifetime. The skin is constantly renewing itself, and the epidermis, its outer layer, regenerates every 28 days. The renewal process is faster in children and slows down with age. What you are seeing are artistic cycling routines, a unique sport that involves performing incredible gymnastic stunts while riding a bicycle. As you can see, this discipline requires a great deal of skill and balance. Competitors can perform individually or as part of a group. Each routine lasts about 5 minutes, and a panel of judges scores the athletes' performances. Svalbard, a place in Norway within the Arctic Circle, does not receive sunlight starting in November. The sky becomes so dark that days look like nights, making winter difficult for the scientists who live there. Between April and late August, the situation reverses, as the European summer brings what is known as the midnight sun, when the sun remains visible 24 hours a day. A group of consumers sued Red Bull because, according to them, it did not give wings. The unusual lawsuit took place in 2013, and users claimed that the company made a false promise. The energy drink company had to pay $13 million to the group. Each member received a total of $10. This is the performance of the Baylor University Marching Band. Notice the skill and coordination required to form all those shapes. When Ian Fleming, the author of the famous James Bond spy stories, created this iconic character, he wanted a name that sounded as common and boring as possible, to contrast with the thrilling life he would lead. Fleming found the name in a birdwatching guide, where he saw the name of an ornithologist called James Bond, a name that sounded completely ordinary. By pairing it with the surname Bond, he achieved a distinctive and memorable effect, and thus the name Bond James Bond was born. This board game is called Pimple Pete. The goal is to remove as many pimples as possible without making them pop. Each pimple has a different score depending on its difficulty level. The player with the highest pimple score wins. The technique of cultivating rice and fish in Indonesia is a sustainable agricultural practice that has been used for centuries. It involves growing rice and fish together in the same field. The fish help control pests and weeds, and their waste fertilizes the soil. It also helps protect the environment. This farming practice is highly sustainable and provides many benefits. Joseph Salek broke a world record by holding a plank position for no less than 10 consecutive hours. This Czech grandfather achieved the feat at the Avatar Festival held in Pilsen, Czech Republic in the year 2023. His goal was to prove that it is possible to live a healthy, active, and athletic life after leaving behind his past as a smoker. Despite the difficulty of the challenge, he persisted and received strong support from his family and community. If you suddenly feel all your hair stand on end, it could indicate the proximity of lightning. If this happens while you are outdoors during a storm, it is important to seek shelter in a safe place such as a building or a car with a hard roof. If no shelter is available, it is best to crouch down and cover your head with your hands to minimize the risk of being struck by lightning. It is also important to avoid being near tall objects like trees, light poles, and power towers, as they are more likely to be hit by lightning. Scientists still do not know why we yawn. Although yawning is a common phenomenon, its exact purpose is not yet fully understood. Several theories have been proposed, such as regulating brain temperature or increasing oxygen intake, but none have been conclusively proven. This was the Game Boy printer, a small printer that connected to the Game Boy along with the Game Boy camera. You could print your photos instantly, although the quality was not very good. Levi Strauss, a German immigrant, founded Levi's in 1853 during the California Gold Rush. The first jeans were made for miners using durable canvas fabric and copper rivets to reinforce the pockets. Over time, Levi's jeans became a global fashion icon, representing hard work and casual style, and they remain popular around the world. Cats have an extra bone in their collarbone that allows them to squeeze through small spaces. Unlike humans, cats have a floating collarbone which enables them to twist and move through very narrow gaps. This bone is not connected to other bones, giving them extraordinary flexibility and making them masters of escape. These are the blue Java bananas, very rare fruits. Surprisingly, their uniqueness is not their color, as they turn yellow when ripe. However, their texture and flavor are so creamy that they are compared to vanilla ice cream. They are grown in Hawaii, the Philippines, and Central America. The giraffe is the tallest animal in the world. It can reach a height of about 19.7 feet. Its long neck allows it to reach the highest leaves of trees. In the past 15 years, the giraffe population has decreased from 140,000 to 80,000 individuals. About 150 years ago, it is estimated there were 2 million giraffes on the planet. It is believed that the bacteria in our intestines may influence and manipulate our minds to make us crave certain foods, such as sweets. The Sargasso Sea is a unique region in the Atlantic Ocean characterized by its clear blue water and the absence of coasts. It is known for its vast amounts of floating sargassum, a type of seaweed, and for being the only sea in the world without shores. Ferruccio Lamborghini founded Lamborghini in 1963 as a result of a dispute with Enzo Ferrari. Lamborghini, a successful tractor manufacturer, decided to enter the luxury sports car business after having issues with his personal Ferrari. Although he admired Ferrari and its vehicles, the models he purchased did not perform mechanically as he expected. The longest tournament chess game ever played in terms of moves was Nikolic vs. Arsovic in 1989. It lasted 269 moves and took 20 hours and 15 minutes to end in a draw. Stephen Bradbury is the luckiest Olympic medalist in history. Watch how, from being in last place, he ends up finishing first after all the other competitors fall. The character of Yoda from Star Wars was inspired by Albert Einstein and by the facial features of Stuart Freeborn, the makeup artist who created him. This is what astronauts see through the window of their spacecraft when returning from the International Space Station. During the Victorian era, special cups with mustache guards were popular to keep mustaches dry while drinking, but they quickly went out of style. The avocado is a poisonous food for birds. The avocado plant contains persin, a toxin that is fatal to all bird species. Persin can damage the heart muscle, which can lead to death. Meet Dagmar Turner, a 53-year-old woman from England who received an unusual suggestion from her neurosurgeon before undergoing a complicated surgery to remove a tumor from the right frontal lobe of her brain. Turner was afraid of losing her motor skills for music, so the neurosurgeon suggested that she play the violin while the medical team operated on her. This was to ensure that the area of her brain responsible for playing the instrument would not be damaged. On average, lightning bolts are 3 miles long but very narrow, measuring only between 0.8 and 1.2 inches wide, thinner than your thumb. Except for 3 exceptions, all flags in the world are rectangular. The flags of Switzerland and the Vatican are square, while the flag of Nepal is made up of 2 triangles that symbolize the Himalayan mountain range. Dragonflies have panoramic 360-degree vision. Their compound eyes provide this full view, allowing them to detect prey and predators in all directions. This complete awareness of their surroundings is crucial to their survival. This is how blind sprinters compete in the Paralympic Games. They are accompanied by a guide who helps them stay in the correct lane. In Japan, during the winter, the Frost Flower Festival is celebrated at Lake Akan, where natural ice flowers emerge on the frozen lake surface, creating a magical landscape. This is what a child's permanent teeth look like before they appear. They are located just below the eyes. Have you ever wondered why dogs' noses are wet? The moisture helps dogs detect scents more accurately. Odor particles stick better to moist surfaces, and the layer of mucus on the nose acts as a solvent that releases chemical compounds from the air. Also, since dogs do not have sweat glands like humans, they use their noses to regulate body temperature. You can make balloons inside other balloons using chewing gum. It takes practice, and it doesn't always work perfectly. The most powerful earthquake ever recorded occurred in Chile. It reached a magnitude of 9.5 on the Richter scale. Known as the Valdivia megathrust earthquake of 1960, it struck at 3:11 in the afternoon on Sunday, May 22nd, and lasted more than 10 minutes. Shortly after, a tsunami followed, with waves reaching up to 32 feet high. The disaster affected the city and caused the deaths of about 2,000 people, leaving more than 2 million inhabitants displaced. NASA has 2 twin satellites known as GRACE-FO. They were launched in 2018 as part of a joint mission between NASA and the German Research Center for Geosciences. Their purpose is to follow each other in Earth's orbit to detect gravitational anomalies. Affectionately, they have been nicknamed Tom and Jerry. Although it may not seem like it, tires have an expiration date. In general, it is 6 years after their manufacture. This means they can go bad even if they have never been used. To check when they expire, you can look at a code printed on the inside. The last 4 digits indicate the week and year in which they were produced. The term hacking originated at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the 1960s, when students looked for clever ways to improve the operation of computers and systems. This hacking culture was driven by curiosity and experimentation. Over time, however, the term evolved and took on a negative connotation as some individuals began using their skills to illegally access systems and steal information. What would happen if planet Earth split in half? If Earth were to break apart, the result would be catastrophic. The planet's geological and atmospheric structures would collapse, causing massive earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. The consequences would be devastating for all life, leading to extreme climate changes, massive habitat loss, and the extinction of many species, including humans. These are some of the beautiful photographs taken by amateur astrophotographers in Mexico, capturing one of the most anticipated phenomena of the year 2024. I am referring to Comet C/2023 A3, and Mexico was a witness to this event, which, according to specialists, will not occur again for another 26,000 years. This is Gustav, a giant Nile crocodile famous for his enormous size. He lives in Burundi and, according to locals, has devoured more than 300 people. He is believed to measure between 16 and 19 feet long, weigh about 1 ton, and be between 60 and 100 years old. In 2019, reports claimed he had been captured, but the information was unclear, so some people still believe he is alive and terrorizing residents in the area. Since its opening in June of 2018, we have all seen dozens of photos on social media of what is now known as the Golden Bridge of Da Nang, or the Cao Vang Bridge in Vietnam, an enormous walkway of approximately 492 feet supported by two giant stone hands, rising about 4,623 feet above sea level, offering breathtaking views. In the 18th century, there was a fashion trend that involved wearing fake facial beauty marks called patches. They were made of velvet, silk, or mouse skin and were used to cover skin imperfections. Imagine an animal with no respiratory or circulatory system, no eyes, that is hermaphroditic, and has the ability to regenerate lost body parts, and even the potential to be immortal. That living being exists among us. It is the planarian, a small flatworm. You have two lungs, but they are not the same size. Just like your eyes or nostrils, your left lung is slightly smaller than your right one. This extra space allows room for your heart. The Mayan numbering system was vigesimal, or base 20, and used only 3 symbols: a dot for the number 1, a bar for the number 5, and a shell to represent 0, which some authors described as a seed. This system allowed the Maya to perform complex mathematical calculations and record precise calendar dates. The Mercator projection distorts areas far from the equator, making them appear much larger than they actually are. For example, if you switch the positions of Greenland and Mexico, you will see that they are nearly the same size. The Lut Desert in Iran, recognized as one of the hottest places on Earth, is famous for its gigantic sand dunes and yardangs, rock formations carved by the wind. Temperatures can exceed 158 degrees Fahrenheit, creating an extreme landscape that challenges life itself. The Chicxulub crater, located on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, was formed about 66 million years ago by the impact of a massive asteroid. It is believed that this impact played a major role in the mass extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs and many other life forms on Earth. This tree is considered one of the most beautiful in the world. It is a long-lived wisteria located in Japan's Ashikaga Flower Park, and it is about 150 years old. Its beautiful vertical flowers hang down almost to the ground, creating a pink and purple cloud-like canopy. Because of its age, the tree's branches are supported by beams to prevent them from breaking. What you are seeing on screen is not a photo from space. It is a cave full of glowworms in New Zealand. These worms glow in the dark to attract their prey and then devour them when they approach the surface. So, if you are an insect, you should be afraid of them. But for us humans, they create a stunning natural spectacle. This is an interesting all-white Rubik's Cube. Each face is differentiated only by the texture of the materials used. It was created by a Japanese brand in the year 2019. Because it produces different tactile sensations, you do not need to look at the cube while using it, making it perfect for people with vision impairments. Sea sponges are among the oldest life forms on the planet, with fossils dating back 640 million years. These simple creatures have no nervous, digestive, or circulatory systems and are believed to hold key insights into the evolution of multicellular life. This is how Michael Jackson's famous dance move was performed. Although it was a mystery for a long time, it was discovered that the singer used special shoes he designed himself. These shoes allowed him to lock onto the stage and lean forward at 45-degree angles, something impossible for the human body. Even with these shoes, tremendous leg and core strength was required to execute the moves so perfectly. Currently, there are about 300 deceased individuals preserved through cryogenic freezing using liquid nitrogen, in the hope that future technology will revive them. The main organizations involved claim that, although current technology cannot bring them back, they trust future advancements will make it possible. However, critics argue that the cellular damage caused by freezing makes recovery highly unlikely. Trains in Japan are known for their extreme punctuality, and a delay of just 1 minute can result in official apologies from the railway company. Interestingly, in 2017, a train on the Tsukuba Express line issued a public apology because it departed 20 seconds earlier than scheduled. This culture of punctuality reflects the high value that Japanese people place on time and efficiency. The black panther is not a separate species, but rather a color variation of the leopard. Its dark coat is the result of a recessive gene, and when observed up close, it still retains the distinctive spots characteristic of regular leopards. Meet the Orectolobidae. Because of their flattened bodies, they are also known as carpet sharks. They dwell on the seafloor, where they feed on crabs, squids, octopuses, rays, and reef fish, and even on other sharks. Their camouflage allows them to hunt effectively, quickly sucking in their prey. They live at depths of over 328 feet in the Indo-Pacific region off the southern and eastern coasts of Australia. Vampire bats, native to Central and South America, have a fascinating survival strategy. These bats feed mainly on blood, but when they encounter sick bats, they display surprising altruistic behavior. Instead of preying on an ill bat, they regurgitate blood into its mouth to keep it alive. This is essential for their survival, as they depend on healthy colonies for their future food sources. You are looking at the largest airplane graveyard in the world, located at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Arizona, United States. In nearly 4.2 square miles, there are more than 4,000 aircraft of all types and conditions that have been stored there since the end of World War II. This location was chosen because the hot, dry climate with low humidity and minimal rainfall slows down rusting. Some planes are stored temporarily for maintenance, while others are dismantled for parts reuse. Dalmatian puppies are born without their characteristic black spots. This happens because the genes that produce white coloration completely suppress dark pigmentation during their early months of life. This means that, in reality, these dogs have large white patches over a black coat. At the border between Zimbabwe and Zambia lies the Devil's Pool at Victoria Falls, a small natural basin that forms right on the edge of the cliff, which is more than 328 feet high. Although it seems dangerous, it is safe during the dry season from September to December, when the water level is low. It is important to note that swimming in the Devil's Pool is only allowed under the supervision of a guide. Clinomania is an anxiety disorder characterized by an obsession with staying in bed for long periods. People with clinomania do not want to get up and never feel rested. Beyond simple laziness, those who experience it feel an emotional or psychological attachment to the comfort of their bed, which may be linked to anxiety, depression, or chronic fatigue. Although it is not a recognized clinical diagnosis, this phenomenon highlights the complex relationship between the body, mind, and environment. There are bone conduction headphones, a technology that allows you to listen to music through the bones of your skull instead of your eardrums. This technology, called bone conduction, transmits vibrations through the jaw and skull, delivering sound directly to the brain without going through the eardrum. Although it is a great innovation, it is recommended to use only up to 70% of the volume since loud noise could damage cells and membranes, causing hearing loss. That is what the lines behind the circles on disposable couplets are for. As you can see, they are designed so the circles can pop back up. The Dead Sea is the lowest point on Earth. It lies 1,365 feet below sea level, and interestingly, despite its name, it is actually a lake. It covers an area of 236 square miles. Its waters are hypersaline, which makes it impossible for most aquatic species to survive, hence the name Dead Sea. Depending on the channel where you watch a soccer match, the advertising signs may be different. This is achieved by connecting cameras to software that recognizes the areas where ads should appear. After calibrating the field, the system overlays the images with special markers so that they do not appear over any players and only show up in the designated spaces. Ants are incredibly organized and social insects, capable of building complex colonies and working together to achieve common goals. Their ability to adapt to almost any environment has made them one of the most successful species on the planet. Meet this curious tree that grows fruit directly on its trunk. The jabuticaba tree has a twisted appearance with few thick, slightly spiny branches. Its fruits seem to be attached directly to the bark and cluster along the main trunk. The thick branches are purple when young and turn black when they ripen. On the island of Crete, Greece, there is an olive tree estimated to be between 2,000 and 3,000 years old. This tree still produces olives and is a symbol of the region's tradition and history. Olive trees are known for their longevity and resilience, with many in the Mediterranean being hundreds of years old. Your brain is the fattiest organ in your body. It is made up of about 60% fat. Fat is essential for the brain because it is an excellent conductor of nerve impulses. It is also the organ that consumes the most energy, accounting for more than 20% of the energy we produce. The octopus is a master of camouflage and can change its color and texture to blend in with its surroundings and hide from predators. It uses specialized skin cells called chromatophores to control its appearance and make itself nearly invisible. In this video, you can see a rescue operation for a large rat stuck in the hole of a manhole cover in a small German town. The heroes were 9 firefighters and a group from the Professional Animal Rescue Service who came specifically to help the rodent. It took about 25 minutes to free the rat, and afterward, they let it climb back down into the sewers. The Christ of the Abyss is a famous submerged statue located off the coast of San Frutuoso, Italy. The original statue was placed in 1954 at a depth of about 56 feet in the Ligurian Sea. It was created by sculptor Guido Galletti and has become a diving icon and a unique tourist attraction. In 2003, due to corrosion and environmental damage, the original statue was replaced by a replica. Its location symbolizes the protection of divers and sailors. The bronze statue, with arms outstretched and facing upward, serves as a spiritual reminder and a tribute to those who have lost their lives at sea. In Japan, the number 4 is considered unlucky because its pronunciation is similar to the word for death. Interestingly, this superstition is so strong that many hospitals and buildings avoid using the number 4 in room or floor numbers. This belief, known as tetraphobia, is also found in other Asian cultures and influences everything from design decisions to daily habits. Did you know that many animals have glowing eyes? This is due to a layer in the eyeballs called the tapetum lucidum. It reflects external light, creating this fascinating effect in their eyes. It can be located within or behind the retina and helps animals such as cats and dogs see better in low light conditions. Now you know why your pet's eyes often appear to glow in flash photos. You are looking at the parts of the human body that change temperature when we experience emotions like love, joy, anger, and pride. Emotions that produce the most intense physical reactions, causing an increase in body temperature. Sadness and depression, on the other hand, cause a decrease in temperature. This happens because these are mechanisms that respond to our environment, either to protect us or to help us enjoy what we are experiencing. It is also completely universal, as the same patterns can be observed in people from different cultures. This is how the ground moves during an earthquake. It happened in Oaxaca, Mexico on July 23, 2020. The ground opened and shifted in a nearly hypnotic way. This phenomenon is caused by vibrations from the movement of tectonic plates beneath the Earth's surface, which can cause the ground to split and shift like this. This was not even one of the strongest earthquakes to hit the region. The clog, a traditional wooden shoe, has a long history in Europe, especially in countries like Sweden, the Netherlands, and France. Originally worn by farmers and workers for durability and protection, clogs have experienced a revival in modern fashion. Today, they are made from various materials and designs and are valued for both comfort and style. Mount Rushmore, located in South Dakota, is an iconic monument featuring the carved faces of four U.S. presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. The construction of the monument, led by sculptor Gutzon Borglum, took 14 years, from 1927 to 1941, and involved more than 400 workers. Mount Rushmore has become a symbol of American history and democracy. In St. Maarten, the Netherlands, lies Princess Juliana International Airport, famous for its unique and thrilling location. With a runway of only about 7,548 feet in length, pilots must perform precise maneuvers as airplanes fly just a few meters above Maho Beach, one of the few places in the world where you can watch planes take off or land right overhead. Despite the risks, the experience is unforgettable for visitors. What we see on screen are three-dimensional tiles designed to promote coral reef growth. They were created by a group of scientists and architects from the University of Hong Kong to help save the lives of thousands of marine species. The tiles measure 24 inches in diameter and have a wrinkled, brain-like surface with cavities that allow coral to take root. Scientists are currently evaluating the results of this creation to expand the project. Discover the cheerful cemetery of the village of Sapunta in Romania. The tombstones and crosses are brightly colored and often include humorous inscriptions about the lives of the deceased. Some even feature painted scenes depicting memorable moments from their lives. This idea came from a local craftsman named Stan Iwan Patraș, who began making these tombstones in 1935. Although he died in 1977, his apprentice continued the tradition. Meet the green aracari, a very striking bird. This small bird is native to Venezuela and lives in forests at altitudes between 328 and 6,234 feet. The male usually measures around 14 inches long and weighs between 5.3 and 7 ounces, while the female is typically smaller. Additionally, its curved beak measures about 2.7 inches long. WhatsApp has only 55 employees on its team. The most popular messaging network has its secrets, and one of them is how few people run it. Believe it or not, only 55 people are behind this huge platform, the same team that started it before moving to Facebook's offices after the app was purchased for $19 billion. Toyota was founded in 1937 by Kiichiro Toyota as a division of the Toyota Automatic Loom Works machinery company. Toyota introduced the just-in-time production system, which revolutionized the automotive industry. This approach minimizes inventory and reduces costs by producing only what is needed when it is needed. Additionally, in 1997, Toyota launched the Prius, which became the first mass-produced hybrid car, marking a milestone in automotive sustainability. Today, Toyota is one of the world's largest car manufacturers, known for its innovation, technology, and efficiency. Meet the Clammiferous truncatos, the smallest armadillo in the world. These animals are native to Argentina, but they are very hard to spot in their natural habitat since they spend most of their time digging underground tunnels. Unfortunately, this species is currently endangered due to habitat destruction. On average, each of your eyebrows has about 450 hairs. Eyebrows also help protect the eyes from sweat and rain, and their shape and thickness can influence facial expressions and how others perceive your personality. In Japan, a company sells a perfume that smells like a cat. The Japanese company Felicissimo created a product that supposedly recreates the scent we notice when we sniff the forehead of these pets. The perfume's name is Soft Forehead Fragrance. The creators say we can use this spray on pillows or carpets at home. The 3.4-ounce bottle costs about $11. Kelsey Plum, a women's basketball star, surprised everyone with a powerful throw. She tossed a t-shirt into the crowd and managed to send it high up into the stands. According to a scientific study, people lie better when they need to urinate. This is due to the spread of the inhibitory effect. The act of controlling your bladder to avoid urinating unconsciously helps you control the complex process of lying. Avocados have more protein than any other fruit. Although most fruits are known for being primarily composed of carbohydrates, the avocado stands out for its relatively high protein content compared to other fruits. It contains about 2 grams of protein per 100 grams of fruit. Meet the Yeti crab, also known as Kiwa hirsuta. It was discovered in 2006 near hydrothermal vents on the floor of the Pacific Ocean. It is notable for its white fur and hairy claws. These bristles are covered in colonies of bacteria that, according to researchers, the crab cultivates and eats. Samsung's latest innovation is the flexible OLED smart speaker. This speaker features a smooth triangular design with an integrated folding panel. When turned off, the panel folds to embrace the speaker, but when turned on, it comes to life, serving as a display for various types of content. From video calls in the kitchen to on-the-go entertainment, this speaker offers versatility and functionality. According to Hindu mythology, Dwarka was a city built by the god Krishna that later sank into the sea. It is believed that Dwarka was once the grandest city on Earth, but it disappeared underwater thousands of years ago. Archaeologists have found remains of an ancient city off the coast of India, fueling debate about the truth behind the legend. About 68 million years ago, there existed an animal similar to a squid with a shell that looked like a giant paperclip. It measured approximately 4 feet 11 inches long and was called Diplomaceros maximum. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean on Earth. It covers more than 1/3 of the planet's surface, spanning over 63,600,000 square miles. It is also the deepest ocean, with an average depth of more than 13,123 feet and a maximum depth of 36,161 feet in the Mariana Trench. Meet Mohammed Arar, the heaviest child ever recorded. At just 10 years old, in 2019, he weighed over 432 pounds, making it impossible for him to walk or stand for long periods. His parents said that each day he ate enough food to feed 4 adults. The Aletsch Glacier, located in the Swiss Alps, is the largest in Europe, with a length of approximately 14.3 miles and a surface area of about 30.9 square miles. It has been part of the UNESCO World Heritage List since 2001. The glacier is one of Switzerland's main tourist attractions and is also vital for the supply of fresh water in the Alpine region. Meet the mandarin duck, one of the most beautiful animals in the world. It measures about 18 inches long and has an unmatched elegance. For this reason, many parks keep them so visitors can admire their beauty. Meet the most powerful supercomputer in existence, the IBM Summit. It serves the United States Department of Energy, equipped with a processor of nearly 2.5 million cores and 2.8 million gigabytes of memory, allowing it to achieve a performance of over 200 petaflops. For comparison, a PlayStation 5 console has a power of 1.8 petaflops. It occupies more than 5,384 square feet and weighs over 750,000 pounds, twice as much as a Boeing 747, and all of this costs $200 million. During World War II, the Enigma machine was used by German forces to encrypt messages. It was created by Arthur Scherbius. However, between late 1939 and mid-1940, Alan Turing built a device called the bomb that successfully deciphered the encrypted communications of the Enigma machine, contributing greatly to the Allied victory. This French photographer combines reality and fiction in a very amusing way. François Dorlain only needs his iPhone and a bit of imagination to blow our minds. What he does is mix everyday scenes with moments from famous movies and series, integrating characters into ordinary situations. Meet the Golden Hotel. It is the Dong's Hanoi Golden Lake Hotel, a luxurious 5-star establishment featuring interior and exterior elements such as bathtubs, spoons, and even a swimming pool coated in 24-karat gold, creating a truly opulent atmosphere for its guests. The musk deer, native to North America, has long upper teeth that resemble fangs. This is what an eagle's ear looks like. Unlike humans, its ear does not have a curved shape but a straight structure. This allows it to easily distinguish whether a sound is coming from above, below, or from either side. They also do not have external ears because those would interfere with their aerodynamic design. Details like these allow them to dive at hundreds of miles per hour without being affected. The Clankey Atlas is one of the largest atlases in the world, measuring 5 feet 7 inches tall by 7 feet 6 inches wide when open. It contains 40 maps in both color and black and white. The atlas is kept at the British Library in London and includes maps, texts, and illustrations of the world's continents by various authors. Its origin dates back to the year 1660 as a gift from Johannes Clankey to King Charles II of England, who was a great fan of maps and curiosities. What you are seeing is the Oosterschelde Kering. It is approximately 5 miles long and is one of 14 barriers that prevent the Netherlands from completely flooding. It closes only when there is a risk of flooding and opens when it is safe. Since more than half of the Netherlands lies below sea level, without barriers like this one, the country would not exist. That is why it is considered a marvel of modern engineering. This is a robotic bird that imitates the flapping of a real bird. It is called the Bionic Swift. It was created by Festo, a German company dedicated to automation and robotics. This model has a wingspan of 27 inches and weighs only 1.5 ounces. Its flight, as well as its maneuvers, can be performed autonomously, but are guided through several radio modules installed in the room that define the airspace for these bionic birds. Figs are technically not fruits. Botanically speaking, they are considered an inflorescence, meaning they are inverted flowers. Fig trees do not bloom like other fruit trees. Each fig contains many tiny flowers, and each of those flowers produces a single fruit called an achene. Hermit crabs are known for their habit of living inside empty snail shells to protect their soft bodies. As they grow, they switch shells and can use a variety of sizes and types of shells as shelter. This is the Remove Debris, a harpoon designed to capture space junk. It is a project developed by the University of Surrey in the United Kingdom that aims to help solve the problem of space debris. The harpoon is launched at about 66 feet per second, a fairly high speed, to catch freely floating objects. With this unique creation, it is possible to capture large fragments of debris, and it operates throughout Earth's orbit. In Manhattan, there is the National Debt Clock, a digital display showing in real time the growing public debt of the United States. It serves as a visual reminder of the magnitude of the national debt and its economic impact. Bamboo is one of the fastest growing plants in the world. It can grow at an astonishing rate of up to 3 feet per day under optimal conditions. This rapid growth makes it an important renewable resource used for construction, paper production, and animal feed. Kombucha is a fermented drink that has gained popularity in recent years for its supposed health benefits. Interestingly, kombucha is made by fermenting sweetened tea with a colony of bacteria and yeast. Although the drink has been consumed in Asia for thousands of years, its tangy and bubbly flavor, along with its reputation as a probiotic, have made it a modern trend in today's food culture. This was Estella, a shark diagnosed with scoliosis and kyphosis, conditions that caused her spine to curve outward and made her swim abnormally. Sadly, she died in 2021. Meet Hope, an albino turtle with a dangerous malformation on the lower part of her shell, which makes her very vulnerable to any impact. The chances of surviving with such a deformity are very low, but her owner is determined to help her thrive. This is the defense method that bees use to repel wasps. It consists of a kind of synchronized dance outside the hive. The waves they generate, combined with an intense buzzing sound produced by rubbing their wings together, disorient the wasps and prevent them from entering the hive. To create this impressive effect, thousands of bees must work together in perfect synchronization, a magnificent example of teamwork. Croissants are not French. In fact, they're Austrian and were invented to mock the Turks. In 1683, the Turks tried to conquer Vienna, the capital of Austria, but the city's bakers discovered them and helped stop the invasion. To celebrate, they made crescent-shaped pastries, the symbol of the Turks, and ate their enemies. These pastries were called kipfel. They arrived in France thanks to Queen Marie Antoinette. She was Austrian and missed the kipfel, so French bakers recreated them with a thinner and crispier puff pastry. They named them croissant, which means crescent in French. Converse sneakers are actually classified as slippers. If you look closely, all of them have a kind of non-slip felt fabric on their soles. Legally, any footwear with more than 50% of its sole made of felt is classified as a slipper. The company took advantage of this classification to pay lower import taxes, as slippers are taxed up to 30% less than other types of footwear. Vanguard 1 is considered the grandfather of satellites. It still orbits the Earth. It was launched on March 17, 1958, and although it measures only 6 inches in diameter and weighs less than 3.3 pounds, it continues to fulfill its mission. Because of its compact size, it was nicknamed the Grapefruit Satellite, a small but powerful space pioneer. These are some of the incredible works of makeup artist Louisa Abel. She has worked on films such as Matrix, Oppenheimer, and The Hobbit. She is an extremely talented woman. The peregrine falcon is the fastest bird in the world, reaching speeds of more than 200 miles per hour. Theoretically, this would burst its lungs, but it has small bony tubercles in its nostrils that redirect air shock waves, allowing it to breathe and manage atmospheric pressure changes. This is the forbidden mountain of Gangkhar Puensum, a place in Tibet that no one has ever climbed. The massive formation rises nearly 26,247 feet high and ranks as the 45th tallest in the world. Its height has never been the issue. The real reason no one has ever set foot on it is due to a regional religious tradition. According to legend, spirits live there that must not be disturbed. In the United States, there is the MoBA, the Museum of Bad Art, which is dedicated to exhibiting artworks considered failures, mistakes, or disasters. Its goal is to celebrate the efforts of artists whose work would not otherwise be displayed or appreciated anywhere else. Founded in 1994, the museum has received both media and tourist attention, as well as criticism and debate about its artistic value. However, its founder states that it is not meant to be anti-art, but rather a tribute to sincerity and the effort of artists who have failed gloriously. At 29 years old, Martha Puerto was fired from her job, and after 5 months of sending her resume the traditional way, no one hired her. So she decided to change her strategy and created a video that, surprisingly, earned her more than 400 job offers. She shared the video only on LinkedIn and her personal website. However, within hours, the video had gained hundreds of likes and comments. After 5 days, it reached nearly 10 million views, going from having no opportunities to having to choose from a long list of options. The Amazon is so large that if it were an independent country, it would be the 8th largest in the world by size, surpassing nations such as India and Argentina. Its total area covers approximately 2,700,000 square miles, stretching across countries like Brazil, Peru, and Colombia. Have you ever wondered why the South Pole is uninhabited but the North Pole is not? This is due to the extremely low temperatures in Antarctica. However, this does not mean the South Pole is empty. Its main inhabitants are animal species that need icy waters to survive. There is also a small human population if we include the scientific bases located there. Meet the mysterious Chinoke Jigoku Pond in Japan, located in the city of Beppu in southern Japan. It is considered the place with the most natural hot water in the world after Yellowstone. It has 9 hot spots that are used, making Beppu the city with the most volcanic hot springs in the country. This park offers everything from natural pools, jacuzzis, and saunas to restaurants. What you see here is a barnacle. They live along rocky coasts and feed by filtering water. They attach themselves to rocks or the bottoms of boats and remain in that position for the rest of their lives. Niihau Island in Hawaii is known as the Forbidden Island because access is restricted. The Robinson family bought the island in 1872 from the Kingdom of Hawaii for $10,000 in gold. Only island residents, members of the Robinson family, or invited guests are allowed to land there. The island remains largely unchanged by modernity, preserving traditional Hawaiian culture and lifestyle. This here is a pink sea cucumber. It usually measures between 4 and 12 inches long and lives at depths ranging from about 1,300 to 16,400 feet. Seagulls cry to eliminate excess salt from their bodies. When they drink seawater, they absorb large amounts of salt that their bodies do not need, and they can get rid of it thanks to a pair of glands located above their eyes. The tears produced by these birds appear white because of the high salt concentration. The size of our eyes remains the same from birth, but our nose and ears never stop growing. There is a pizzeria operated entirely by a robot. This is Patsy, a machine capable of taking orders, kneading and stretching the dough, adding ingredients, placing the pizza in the oven, and serving it sliced in a takeaway box. Very soon, we might all be out of a job.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe so you don't miss more interesting content. Leave your comments and click on any of these videos. See you next time.